Hey guys, Jamie here with Journey North. I'm just going to discuss a little bit about where I get some of my information from when I do the history of these tools, identifying them and stuff like that. And the internet's a big help, obviously, but I really fall back on the old catalogs, ads in magazines, stuff like that. And two of my Bibles that I use for identifying tools are the old catalogs. Like I said, this was printed in 1980. It's a reprint of just the tool section of the E.C. Simmons Keen Kutter catalog from 1930. Just the tool section. Let's see if I can get you focused in on some of this. It's got about every tool on the planet that was made at the time. And I'll switch you around and show you some of the sections from there. You can pick these up, these reprints from 1980, for about $20 to $30 on eBay. They're really handy to have. Not real collectible because, like I said, they're reprints. But if you want to get into some of the older ones, they're going to cost you. And this is what the old catalogs look like. Just shy of 3 inches thick. This is a 1917 original. The older style from the late 1800s, E.C. Simmons would have had leather bound. And they run right around $1,000 if you can find them. These here range from $200 to $600 usually, depending on what kind of shape you find them in. They're very fragile, very yellow looking, but you can still just identify anything you want. E.C. Simmons, Keen Kutter, they sold, at this time, Kelly axes. That's who made them for Keen Kutter. So you'll find Keen Kutter, Kelly, Bay State, and my favorite, which is oakleaf brand. I collect oakleaf tools. I have a pretty extensive collection that I'm going to gather all up and make a video on. But I thought first I'd talk about just these catalogs. E.C. Simmons started selling stuff right after the Civil War. Just small shop, and just slowly gained and got bigger and bigger. And by 1940, they sold out to Shapley's. And you'll see some old Shapley catalogs that are this thick as well. And this would have been made more for the guy that owned the hardware store, the merchant. Everything in here sold usually by the dozen. And he would buy a dozen at a time and put them on his racks and then sell them and mark them up for his profit. 1917, this one. So probably made and printed up in 1916. 1916 was pretty prosperous time for Americans. There was like 250,000. That was a peak time for railroads. 250,000 miles of track. Germany was being douchebags over in Europe and starting a world war. We weren't quite in it yet. 1917 is when we entered. 1916, what else was going on? Einstein published relativity. At that point, his whole theory. Woodrow Wilson would have been president. Pancho Villa would have been raising hell down in Mexico, New Mexico, Texas. We were after him at that point. But as far as hardware stores go and tools, in my opinion, that's just prime time for it. E.C. Simmons pretty much said, if you can't eat it or wear it, it's going to be in this catalog, and he sold it. And for the most of that is correct, other than there are some things you can wear in this, especially when you get into hunting and fishing and some stuff like that. But this has got everything in it. Unbelievable. You tool guys would just love to flip through this. So I'm going to flip the camera around and go through it a little bit. Before I do that, if any of you guys have any old Kelly, oakleaf, Keen Kutter, pretty much any tool, there's going to be a version of it in here. And if you'd like to have some information about that, just leave a comment down in the bottom, and I'll either make a video or send you a picture or get back to you in some way. But let's flip this around and take a look at this. 1917. Let's go. It's going to be a slow process here. This, like I said, it's 105 years old. We're going to go It's a pretty beat up already, so we're going to go slow on it. I'd love to get some copies made, especially this tool section, for some of my buddies and get this out there. If anyone is interested in something like that, like I said, message me and I'll get you the pages you need. This is all index, glossary type stuff. Right off the bat, we just got the axes. And what E.C. Simmons did is Keen Kutter was his line. So his are all priced just a hair higher than the Kelly's, and you'll see them always first in the book. That's what he tried selling first. And he pretty much said if it's got that Keen Kutter label on it, that it was backed by his guarantee. Down here you can just, what weights this axe came in, and then the per dozen price. So a 4-pound dozen of these were $24.50. A lot of Keen Kutter, a lot of oakleaf in here. Just to be a few at the end of the Kelly's, and that's because he wanted his brands to do better. These are the oakleafs. This here's what I collect. I got a few I'll show you at some point. Here you get to the perfects, the Kelly perfects, same axe, different label, and like $23.70. So just $24.20, just a hair cheaper, so you'd sell that Keen Kutter. And by the time you get to the 1931, he's got the Keen Kutter marked up pretty high, and just keep telling you over and over in that catalog how they were superior. And here's where it really comes in handy for all these different types of patterns of half hatchets, lathing hatchets, box hatchets, shingling hatchets. And this is where it gets fun for me when I get a tool and I start going through here, trying to see what matches up and what it was officially called. Maybe what did it have paint on it at one time? It tells you all that, what the original handle size was. And once you get into some of these, you can have two that are almost identical, but they came in different finishes. Like these here. And right here, like if I wanted to know exactly what size handle this came on it, it told you all this right in here. And here's what it looks like in real life. This one, you probably ain't going to be able to see the stamp on it. It's right in there. Can't quite see it at all, but it's there. So it goes in my collection until I find a better representation of this one, maybe with a nicer stamp. But yeah, that's the axes, hammers, hatchets. Got everything. We're getting into the pickaxes. Like I said, if it was a tool, they sold it. Drill bits. I'm getting in some braces. Chisels, planes, there's tons and tons of tools. Let me see if I can find another one I got a good representation of right over here. All right, here, I'd love to find one of these old cabinets just to start adding tools to. Made of wood. You could buy them with the tools in them or without. Probably not ever going to find, so I'm going to make my own version of it with all oak leaf tools. That's going to be a nice video series when we start that. Go backwards here for a minute. I got a push drill here. I was going to show you what it looked like in the catalog, and then in real life here. I can't seem to find it. There's so much stuff in here. Yeah, we'll skip that and go on to some other stuff. Pruning shears, fruit pickers, rakes. It's in here, guys. I tell you, you name something, it'll be in here. Bikes, baseball, ball guides, baseball gloves, fishing rods, camping, cartridges, guns back there, cutlery, which I find kind of cool for the fact that this one here, oakleaf, it's a butter knife, came with a three tine fork. This one here's got kind of a clover leaf pattern to it, and just so happens I have a set of 6 of them. Coco Bolo handles, which I didn't know what the wood was till I got this catalog. Got a whole set that needs to be cleaned up. And they were sold with a knife and a fork and no spoons, which is how they're all sold in here, which I didn't know, and that really helped me. So I knew that I had that set and not a separate set. Knife collectors would love a book like this. Then you get down to little tiny stuff, nail files, sharpening kits, razors, smoking sets, teapots. I'll tell you guys, you name something you need for a house, if I can't find it in here, I tell you what, it probably wasn't made in 1916, 1917 then. Metal buckets, cookware, cast iron. What else should we find here? There's coal stoves, wood stoves, cook stoves. You get down to just the little pieces, dampers, pipes, fittings. They got 1 page of color in this book, and that was for their paints and stains. Which was probably really cool in 1917, having some color in the catalog, Pulleys, wash machines, just glass cutters, lemon extractors. It's in here, boys, I tell you. I'm not going to search for all the stuff I got, but it's a clever oakleaf lock, 1916, 1917. W.M. Enders push drill. Got a whole collection of it. I'm excited to show you guys. I paid more for this catalog than I ever have for any of them tools. But like I said, I spent hours and hours going through this thing. That's the 1917 version. Like I said, if you got a couple $100 to spend, up to $1,000, you can pick these here up. If you want a good representation of a lot of the same tools, there's a better way to go right here. This reprint from 1980. A little bit brighter. This one's in a little rough shape. I flipped through this one a lot. It stays right in the shop. Got some binding issues, but just the tool section here, though. God, don't you just wish you could make an order out of here? Get some of these old handles. Dozen handles for $10. And by now, some of your patterns and stuff are changing. Not really any new patterns, but the axes and stuff. There's getting to be more electric tools at this time, and people are using less and less of the hand tools, so there's just not quite as many in here. Alright guys, like I said, if you have a tool you're not sure about, either make a video, my email is in my about section, send me a picture, I'll either make a video if I can get enough info on it, or I'll just let you know personally. And is there anything you guys want to see in here specifically? Want me to slow down on the axes or on some tools? Let me know and we'll make a video about it. Like I said, this one here is probably out of the average person's price range, if you can even find them. But I know there's a pile of these around on eBay, anywhere from $20 to $30. These are great too. Alright guys, thanks for watching. You got something you want to see? Leave it in the comments. Take her easy, folks.